Has there ever been a season as dramatic as that which took Manchester United into the new decade? A season of drama, excitement, and delight. A season topped by the winning of the most coveted prize in football, the FA Cup. The campaign got off to a sensational start. Just as everyone was ready for the big kick-off, along came businessman Michael Knighton to announce that he was ready to buy the majority shareholding in United. Knighton stole the headlines on opening day, and most of the limelight too. The dream of Michael Knighton was to become a personal nightmare. But on August the 19th, United got off to the best possible start against champions Arsenal. A 4-1 win and great debuts for new boys Michael Phelan and the goal-scoring Neil Webb.
Well, I told Nottingham Forest towards the end of the season that there was only one club I'd leave for in Britain, leave Forest for to go to, and that was Manchester United. I was away of England in Scotland when I had the phone call that United were keen to bring me here, and once I didn't really sort out the financial deals, other people did, and I come here for the weekend with my wife and child, and I'd already made up my mind to come, and it was only, if my wife liked the area and that, which she did. I was here for about 2 hours, I think. I had lunch and signed that day, and didn't take a lot of persuading anyway. We were playing the league champions at the time. Couldn't ask for a better start at your new club. Lovely day. Other things had happened at the club, and it was great for me to make my debut, and everything went well in the game, and I scored a goal. I scored on my debut, which was a terrific feeling. I went home to the wife that night and said, this could be something good this year.
Next came Crystal Palace, famous for fireworks and back in Division 1 after years in the doldrums. Again, United get on the goal trail, but it isn't to be. And the first sign of troubles ahead come in the dying minutes of the game, as United old boy Steve Coppell sees his side steal a point from the club he still admires. 4 days on, and trouble stirs for Michael Knighton. Newspaper headlines claim he isn't the man with the money in the United takeover, nor is he a solo operator.
Bob Thornton is indeed a partner in my MK Trafford Holdings. He's my dear friend, and everyone knows that he is an outstanding and exceptional businessman, the former leader of one of our major retailing units, Debenhams PLC. Bob and I know and understand each other very well.
Mr. K hits back, and he's the calming influence as the Red Army threatens another takeover, this time on the terraces of Derby County's baseball ground. The first defeat of the season sees Fergie about to spend on Middlesbrough defender Gary Pallister and West Ham's Paul Ince. Pally signs, and at £2.3 million becomes the costliest player in United history. But he isn't too concerned about the price tag.
Yeah, there was a lot of press talk about it after it went through, and I would never say that I was worth £2.3 million. You talk to the likes of Paul Gascoigne and Tony Cottee, they'd say the same. But that's the way the market's going at the moment. Clubs are asking for ridiculous fees at the moment, and I thought Middlesbrough did well, sort of overpriced me too much. But like I say, thankfully Manchester came in and paid the money and eventually got in.
There's a snag in the Ince deal, as he's rejected on medical grounds. And there's 10 days of talking before the clubs reach an agreement and Paul moves north. Playing for England in Sweden, Neil Webb is carried off with an Achilles injury. He'll be lucky to play again this season. No Webb and Brian Robson out with bruised ribs. United go to Everton and lose their third game in a row despite a great fight back. And a penalty save from Jim Leighton. The Reds are rocking as September starts, 16th in the table with just one win. They signed Danny Wallace from Southampton in another £1 million deal. That's 7 they've spent this year. And suddenly the sun shines as Millwall come to town. And it's a dream afternoon for Mark Hughes.
Now your first goal, the goal in the 12th minute, was quite a shot.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad one. I think it was a long ball and I just collected it, and the grass is quite long at the moment, so it just sat up nicely for me and we were able to get good contact on it when it went.
A hat-trick and a hand in the other two. It's really nobody's going to argue about that. Mark Hughes, I suppose you enjoyed this one today, did you?
Yeah, it went particularly well for myself and obviously for the team as well. We felt leading up to this game, we haven't been playing that badly, we just haven't got the breaks really. Today we got a few breaks and the goals went in, and it was a good performance all around really.
The Littlewoods Cup means a trip to Portsmouth after more takeover talk in Manchester. It seems as if the Knighton deal has been finalised, and for Chairman Martin Edwards, mixed emotions.
Well, I've got very mixed feelings, obviously. I mean, in one sense it's very sad because, I've been in the chair for nearly 10 years now, and obviously it's a big wrench to give that up. On the other hand, the reasons that I did the deal in the first place still stand. Michael Knighton is quite prepared to put money up for or to back the development of the Stratford end to the tune of 10 million. He's already made that commitment, and that was something that I felt was a long way down the road, had I remained in the chair. So, very mixed feelings, really.
Injury to Brian Robson and a 2-goal fight back by Pompey spoils things, and 3 days later comes the blackest afternoon in years. September the 23rd, 1989. Manchester City 5, Manchester United 1, the Reds' biggest defeat in a main road derby. Not even a Sparky special can lift the gloom. The knives are out for Alex Ferguson, but he answers his critics with strong words.
Well, I don't think it's personal. I think it's just because I'm the manager of Manchester United. I think that Manchester United have always been the whipping boys for the press. If they've nothing to write about, then a story about United will sell them papers. And I think it's a lot to do with that. And also I think it's a climate and of the modern journalism.
Brian Robson's made a remarkable recovery from what at first was diagnosed as a stress fracture of his shin. He's back for England as well as United. The takeover bid reaches a conclusion. Knighton withdraws his offer and takes a seat on the board. The fans say the saga has affected the players. Robo says it hasn't, as 2 games without a goal follow the City disaster. United look for that lost form. It's a roller coaster season. They hit the heights at Coventry, October ends on a high though. High-scoring Southampton come to Old Trafford with high hopes, but the Reds have other ideas. Defeat at Charlton spoils the recovery. Then a week later, the Reds star in their first televised game of the season. Nottingham Forest come to OT, and Pally gets his first goal in a 1-0 win.
I think Bruce is a bit disappointed that I took it up him, but I just saw the ball there. Obviously Bruce has done great to get up and put the ball across, and I was just making sure, I think.
Next to Luton, and another victory. United are 9th in the table, 6 points from the top. But that win signalled the start of a bleak midwinter. 0-0 against Chelsea. Defeat at Arsenal. Disaster against Crystal Palace. And flattened by a Lineker special against Spurs. Next to Aston Villa, and defeat spoils the Christmas celebrations. But 4 days later, a bright star begins to rise as United end the 80s at Plough Lane. Remember the name, Mark Robins. The new year begins without Brian Robson and any goals against QPR. Ray Wilkins enjoyed his return to Old Trafford and left with some words of hope for United fans.
What do you think United need? Just a bit of luck to get goals?
They're just lacking just that little bit of confidence, mate. A little bit, I honestly feel, a little bit of belief to go and play. They obviously have the talent there, Tom, but it's just a matter of getting people together and getting that belief in themselves. They've got some super players, and when they string the game together, they look a terrific team.
Then on January the 7th, things began to get better. The FA Cup round 3 and a tough one at Nottingham Forest. It's Mark 1 to Mark 2 as the Reds go through. Defeats by Derby and Norwich are forgotten as the cup march goes on. To Giant Kill in Hereford, where Clayton Blackmore provides the killer blow. The cup wins have lifted the fans, and Clayton's on target again a week later as United draw with City at Old Trafford. "11 league games without a win. They find their pride and passion at last at Millwall." Back to the cup and another away trip, this time to Newcastle, and Robins is at it again.
That has just come up to the near post. Anderson just on the edge of the 6-yard area. And they all miss it except Robins. It's in. Robins has done it again. The goal in the 20th minute. Mark Robins, second in the FA Cup. Burridge missed it. Wasn't truly struck by Robins. He just nodded it down, which I think pulled Sweeney on the line. But the referee was well placed and immediately pointed for the goal.
Well, amazing. Mark Robins, one of the smallest players on the pitch.
Offside against Mark McGee. Manchester United with 4 up from this free kick. By Bradshaw. Anderson. McClare. Stimson for company. Wallace! Yes! Oh, what a finish! What a finish! right on the hour. Marvellous strike by the little borough. McClare did well. Had Stinson on the wrong foot. But it was made by a superb finish. Just a little dart to the right. My heaven, he thumped it. Angle was tight, but he found it. Well won by Scott. Ince has taken the same position on the pitch as Duxbury held. Ince looking for Wallace and may have found him. Little touch, McClare! At last McClare scores. 17 games without a goal. He's chosen a very good moment to end the drought. It was Ince though who played the telling ball. A little bit of push and shove there between Wallace and Bradshaw. Turn and on came McClare, and Manchester United lead 3-2. By no means the best strike of the ball that McClare has ever made, but it could be priceless.
Well, it's £5,000 worth of ball from Paul Ince there. Danny Wallace very unselfish, and as you say, Brian McClare just knocking it towards goal rather than picking his spot. Very relieved, and again the game switches round 3-2.
Manchester United have, for the third round running, won away from home, and generous applause at the Gallowgate end. Brian McClare, without a goal for 17 matches, scores the winner. Best goal certainly scored by Danny Wallace. Newcastle United twice coming back.
It's an amazing game. Manchester's buzzing with talk of cup glory. A 1-0 defeat at Chelsea's forgotten as the Reds get ready for the quarter-finals. Before that, Luton at Old Trafford and the first double of the season. United are 2 games away from Wembley and blunt the blades at Bramall Lane. Just 1 goal, but worth so much to Brian McClare. controversy surrounded the win. Had the ball crossed the line before Mark Robins won that deciding corner? And defeats by Liverpool and Sheffield Wednesday start the relegation talk again. Suddenly, there's a change. Colin Gibson, who's been out of the game for almost 2 years, came back to face Wednesday and was in action again at Southampton. Also back, Neil Webb, his first game for 7 months. Two minutes to go, and guess who gets the winner? That's right, Mark Robins. Week later, 3 more points go in the bag, and 3 goals for the Reds against Coventry. So comes the semi-final. Oldham Athletic at Main Road, and on a day when Steve Coppell's Crystal Palace have beaten Liverpool. Back in action, Brian Robson.
Well played by Barlow. Snaked by Pallister, but he's able to recover. I would suggest that Oldham are winning about 90% of the 50-50 balls. Hughes. Barrett. Bruce. And Robson! It's 1-1! He's done it again. Including a replay, that's 4 semi-finals running in which he scored. Beautifully played through. And Robson always got a touch on it, but couldn't keep it out. Excellent first time ball. Always may count himself a little unlucky, but Brian Robson has done it again.
Well, amazing, isn't he? There he is, a little smile, and really suddenly gets United back in a game that they were looking so edgy, and really the I suppose the selection is justified in that goal, isn't it? Neil Webb gets it, lovely touch through as Oldham try to play the offside, and there it is.
Bannister doing well to protect the lead. Hands the captain's van to Steve Bruce and comes off to a tremendous ovation. Given his all, scored the equaliser. But in the end, was clearly running out of steam. Here's Ince. I need even more from Paul Ince, who's been the pick of the midfield, I think. Paul is hopeful of a first touch. New challenge for Barlow as an out-and-out winger, if that's the way he's being asked to play. First round to Barlow. Phelan. Slightly stubbed it, but it comes to Gibson. And it's Webb. There was a little hesitation. And Webb is engulfed. Came across to Gibson, it was slightly mishit, I think, but the early header in, and it was Webb. It came more off his forehead, the ball hitting that rather than the reverse. He was turning with a goalkeeper who decided to come late, and Manchester United have the lead. Neil Webb is their scorer. And Alec Ferguson with his arm round his skipper. Could be useful. Redfern needed Bruce to play it. New skipper demanding concentration. Irwin. Redfern got away. It's a good cross. Marshall! What an unbelievable day this is. It was a good cross. Redfern got away from Ince. It was half clear, but only to Marshall, who thumped it into the far bottom corner. And it's 2-2. Really did well then, Redfern. And so did Marshall. 2 goals inside 3 minutes. And once again, Wembley doesn't know who will be its second visitor in May. Ritchie showed too much, nicked away by McClare. Useful for Wallace. Test of his pace, now test of his finish, and he's equal to both. The face of delight is lost in the crowd. A fine ball through the finish. As the goalkeeper came somewhat feet first, was what was required. Burst through 2 defenders, and Manchester United lead 3-2.
Great ball from Brian McClare. Once again, Oldham trying to hold the line, and Danny Wallace, with that extra pace, just timed his run perfectly. Got through against the goalkeeper. Didn't hit the shot that well. He stuffed it a bit. But I'm sure he's not complaining, because once it went past Hallworth, even though it was going very slowly, it was always going to make the goal.
Now Owen, who couldn't find the crosses, can he now find the free kick? Met well by Bannister. That's what you call a good recovery. Milligan. Yes, the space here for Marshall. And Palmer's far side. It's all square again. This is the stuff of schoolboy comics. Palmer. It was a fine ball from Milligan that put Marshall away, and Oldham have come back again. Marvellous stuff.
It ends all square, 3-3 after extra time, and 3 days later, it's the replay.
Still Robson. Wallace. Robson just inside, giving me back. He's screaming to be giving it back. Wallace. Oh, he's going to go in. Yes, McClare. Brian McClare. Is that going to be another crucial goal in the FA Cup? Brian Robson who started the move. Wallace, it got a little nick. And there was McClare all alone for as easy a goal as he will probably ever score. Unlucky deflection by Henry. Referee says play on, although the flag went up briefly. The free kick is taken. Irwin, it suddenly opened up in front of him. Irwin again. Milligan, Holden, field for handball, not given. Holden's cross, it's a bit short, and it runs to Ritchie! Andy Ritchie! The man who began his career as a teenager at Old Trafford has beaten Jim Leighton, and again in this quite remarkable FA Cup semi-final, it is all square. It was deflected across by Webb and thumped home by Andy Ritchie. We see proof that the referee was right. Sudden increase in impetus again. Phelan. Robbins! Yes! What a remarkable record this young man has got. His third goal in the FA Cup. And again, Alec Ferguson's side is within touching distance of Wembley. Took 2 touches, and then it was a direct hit rather than a hit shot. Scored against Nottingham Forest. Scored up at Newcastle. Scores against Oldham Athletic. Manchester United are at Wembley. The winning goal scored by a man, Mark Robbins, who may wonder whether he will have a place in the final itself. But he's taken Manchester United to the FA Cup final and ended Oldham Athletic's dream of going to Wembley in 2 finals. But how well Joe Royle's side...
3 days later, there's more to rejoice over at QPR, as victory sets the scene for survival. On loan goalkeeper Les Seeley's called into the side for the injured Jim Leighton and stands firm as United win. So comes April the 17th, and talk of relegation ends as United take Aston Villa apart. Again, Seeley's in goal and holds out against the championship contenders. As for Mark Robins, he really shows his class. United are safe to end the season in 13th place, as their last 3 games produced just 1 win and 1 goal against Charlton at Old Trafford. Saturday, May the 12th, the FA Cup final.
McClare. Bright again, moving right out to the touchline, taking defenders with him. Gray. And still, well, he was flattened the second time. Danny Wallace. Now this could be dangerous once Gray gets to his feet, provided he's fit enough to take the free kick. Dave West, the Palace physio, will come on, who's never been to an FA Cup final before, so it's quite a day for him as well. Steve Coppell making a few notes. Of course, they sit so close to each other at Wembley, the two managers. See some great football names there, can't you, in the box? Billy Wright, Stan Cullis, Ron Greenwood, like a Hall of Fame back there. But back to the modern game. Free kick to Crystal Palace. Andy Gray's back on his feet to take it. Thorne O'Reilly's in there. And was it over the line? And it's a goal. Gary O'Reilly. After 19 minutes, it was in the net before Steve Bruce could get his foot to it. And Crystal Palace, the underdogs, have taken the lead in precisely the way many people expected. The free kick, I think it was bent in by Barber there. Whether that came off Pallister's head as well, I'm not quite sure. O'Reilly's taken the congratulations. It was bent in by Gray. And was that Pallister or O'Reilly? Anyway, Bruce couldn't keep it out, and Palace are in front.
Well, they took the lead just as probably everyone anticipated Palace would if they did score from a set piece. And on that occasion, of course, it was right near the touchline. Manchester United couldn't push out to the 18-yard box. They were hemmed in near the penalty spot. Jim Leighton, to be fair, did come for the cross, didn't get there, and it looped agonisingly into the empty net and 1-0.
Palace don't waste time in getting the ball in there. Here's Phelan. Foul, Barber. Wallace, good ball in. Hughes is there. McClare. And I think that hit a Palace player last. That's a corner. I think John Solarco was the player that actually got that ball out. It was Danny Wallace's whip cross, and I'm pretty sure that comes off Solarco. Webb will take the corner. Pallister on the near post. McClare on the goal line. Bruce and Robson waiting to come in. A back header. Oh, goodness me. I think that was probably Mark Bright who actually got his head to that. So look at it again. Yes, number 9 for Palace.
He'd probably say Nigel Martin called him for it, and so just knocked it back to him. But a good, great hot catch, in fact, by Nigel Martin, who hasn't had a lot to do, for 35 minutes, but held on to that very well.
Here's Wallace up against Pemberton. That's awkward. Oh, good header, O'Reilly. Not very far out, though. Ince. Brian Robson's right on the 18-yard line as an auxiliary attacker. This is Phelan. Pallister. They want it played in. Hughes is waiting too. But Palace's defensive play at the moment is sound. It's compact. And if Gray hadn't been impeded, they would have been away there. But this is Martin. Referee saw nothing wrong. Ince. That's a good-looking ball for McClare. Wallace comes near post. Wallace. McClare. Robson. Goal! Brian Robson equalises for Manchester United after 35 minutes, and Captain Marvel is there again. Now, good play here. Danny Wallace just worked the ball out wide. The cross was delivered long to the far post, and Brian rolls a deflection off a defender as well there. It's one each, and as Robson gets the header in, that's John Pemberton, I think, was it? Or maybe the man in front of him that just diverted it to make it 1-1. Well, what an exciting cup final we've got here now. An hour gone in the match, still 1-1. Danny Wallace for Manchester United. Not for long, but here's Martin, and not for long either. Jim McGregor there, the physiotherapist, on his 9th visit to Wembley, was formerly with Everton. This day is so much part of the memory book for so many people behind the scenes as well. Staff at both clubs looking forward to it so much, as well as the players. Here's Andy Thorne. Martin. Robson. Oh, goodness me, they're manhandling Robson a bit. That was Gray. Referee says you've got the ball to Lee Martin. Play on. Good advantage by Alan Gunn. Here's Pallister. And United with 7 players forward in this attack. One of them is Ince here. And now Pallister and Webb. Palace making them work so hard to get forward. Phelan. Wallace. Ince. Solako having another good game at left back, which was something of an unfamiliar position to him at the beginning of the season. And Paul Ince was the player who stopped there. Webb. Palace dwelling. Wallace. A ricochet. Hughes! 2-1 to Manchester United. And a devastating finish by Mark Hughes. And I have to say the Palace defence were pussyfooting around a bit there, really. They had their chance to clear. Thorne didn't do so. And when it came to Hughes' left foot, that was a deadly goal scorer's instinct. After 62 minutes, Mark Hughes scores his 14th goal of the season, his first in the FA Cup this season, and it puts Manchester United into a 2-1 lead. And take nothing away from Hughes, that was first class. Wallace. Webb back to Wallace, and there goes Robson, onside. Hughes coming in from the far post, but it's Brian Robson, and a good challenge by Alan Pardew, forcing Robson to shoot wide at the last. I would think that Bobby Robson up in the stand, Trevor, would be very pleased to see Brian Robson so active and so involved.
Well, those sort of runs are the ones he's famous for, and that's that sort of run which got him his semi-final goal, wasn't it, against Oldham. But on that occasion, Alan Pardew did very well, worked back. He couldn't quite get in a tackle because it was in a dangerous situation, could have conceded a penalty, but just shouldered him off balance enough so as he couldn't hit a good shot.
Now here's Wright, his first chance to show what he can do, and he's through. It's Wright. Oh, what an impact by the substitute. It's 2-2. And it's Ian Wright who has sent the Palace supporters into ecstasy. The ball played through to him in not the best position, I have to say, but look what he made of this. He turned the defender beautifully and slid it wide of Jim Leighton, and that was in the 73rd minute, and it was just 3 minutes after Ian Wright had come on. And what a lovely individual goal. There's a touch of the Ricky Villas about that one, Trevor.
Well, he looks pretty pleased there, I'm not surprised. I do believe it was his first touch, wasn't it? I can't actually, he's been running around as you do as a substitute, trying to get a touch. Here he is, and really Gary Pallister caught very flat-footed. You shouldn't let a striker turn in on goal like that. You should funnel him to the touchline. He kept his head well, kept it low, and really that's it, that is him at his best.
Pallister's hobbling, but he's up there nevertheless. Pallister. Hughes, no! Trevor.
Well, it's been a bit heartbreaking, I think, for Crystal Palace, and any side perhaps to lose it now in these last few seconds. Let's them go into extra time and see now who is going to conjure up perhaps the opening, or are we going to have another replay? It seems to be a saga this season, doesn't it? But certainly a very good second half, and there's the final whistle, and both managers now going to do a lot of talking just to lift their side in these extra 30 minutes.
It's United playing from left to right in the first period. Brian Robson. I don't think Bobby Robson would want a replay here, would he, with England players involved? Because England are due to play Denmark on Tuesday, and there would be a replay of the FA Cup final if required on Thursday here. So don't book that night out just yet. This is McClare. Ince. Good running on the far side by Clayton Blackmore, the substitute. Andy Gray went back with him. Just managed to get the ball away. Here's Wright. Fouled by Bruce. Bobby Charlton and the other Manchester United directors will be more than a little concerned here about the outcome because, as I said earlier on, the club is going through something of a turbulent time at board level as well. Webb, O'Reilly, Salako, who's playing further forward now that Shaw is in an orthodox left-back position here. In fact, Salako is playing wide on the left in Barber's old position. Phelan is challenging him. Right! Goal! It's Ian Wright again! Palace are in front at 3-2. And Steve Coppell has made... No, he's made one of the great substitutions. And the Palace players have been called back by the referee. It's a goal all right, but they've been called back from celebrating. Don't let me take it away from Ian Wright. What a good finish, but it was interesting there. In the light of current crowd control, Alan Gunn ran behind the goal and pulled them all back from the crowd. It's 3-2 to Crystal Palace. Ian Wright has scored his second in the 92nd minute. And as last year, we have a substitute who's come on and scored 2 goals, just as Rush and McCall did. Webb, Wallace, and Robson's got a great run on here. Pemberton got to him just in time. This is Hughes. The danger's not over yet. Ince. Good effort! Oh, fine save by Nigel Martin. Well, when he was called upon there, he was right in line. It's a good shot, this, by Ince, and a good tip over. Hughes, McClare, Phelan out on the right. Salako tries to get to him and fails. It's Michael Phelan for United. Dipping shot, beautifully tried. Oh, he's good at those. I remember one playing for England when he nearly scored. They gave Phelan a bit too much room, actually. Salako dived in a bit there, didn't get hold of things at all, and look where the keeper is, 6-yard line. That's a dipper, and it just clips the roof of the net. Webb to Wallace. Hughes goes through the middle, chance here for 3-3. Mark Hughes! He scores his second of the game, and Manchester United have saved themselves. The ball just chucked through by Danny Wallace, and the central defenders gave him too much space. O'Reilly wasn't close enough, and Hughes steered it past Martin. And so what Ian Wright has done for Palace, Mark Hughes has done for Manchester United. He's scored twice. And with just 7 minutes of extra time to go, the score is 3-3. Thorne won't reach it this time. And the referee has blown, and the FA Cup final of 1990 ends in a draw.
So came the replay, and a sensational end to a dramatic season. Alex Ferguson drops a bombshell by leaving out Jim Leighton. Les Sealey plays in goal to become a United hero. The replay has none of the sportsmanship of the first game, and Palace lose any friends they may have won with their spoiling tactics.
This is Steve Bruce, and there goes Mark Hughes. Andy Thorne was with him. That's the first foul of the night, and it was Steve Bruce who felt it. And Bright's up with the keeper again, and Les Sealey does well to hold on. They're really trying him out, aren't they? Putting a lot of nervous tension on him and shaking him up in the first few minutes. It's clear that that's a Palace policy. It's not strictly legitimate, but it's a test of nerve for Les Sealey, who, as I say, hasn't had much first-team football this season. Hasn't played at all for Luton, it might be said. Phelan looks for Hughes. Thorne is with him, and that's Salako.
Mark Hughes looking back, but really he and his Manchester United teammates have got to make sure they don't get ruffled like they did for a little spell in that first half. They've got to keep playing their football, because at the moment it's Crystal Palace who are trying to do the spoiling tactics.
Not all the fouls have been one way, I have to be fair about that. Was a foul by Brian Robson on the far side. So it's a free kick now to Palace. There's the Palace bench with Ian Brancourt and Alan Smith alongside Steve Coppell, hoping maybe that Gary O'Reilly or Mark Bright can get on the end of this. Barber's in there with them. O'Reilly was in the thick of it, so was the referee as it happens, Thomas. And a break by Webb, and they've got 4 up Manchester United here. To his right, Danny Wallace. McClare in the middle with Hughes. And not the cross you would want from Danny Wallace in that position, Trevor, was it? Really disappointing.
Well, he doesn't need to be told, because didn't really even have to go past his man there. There was 4 Manchester United players who had all soared through into the penalty area, and really you're just waiting for a cross, and he acknowledges 1 or 2 shouts. Come on, you can do better than that.
Actually, Danny Wallace has got a couple of old pals on the bench, because the 2 Palace substitutes, Ian Wright used to play with him as schoolboys, and David Madden was at Southampton with him. But all of that's slightly incidental to a rather poor piece of finishing. Ballister. Now, are we going to see a goal in this Cup final replay? It's also very, very tight, isn't it? There's never been a 0-0 in a Wembley FA Cup final, up to now. Here's Gray, Brian Robson bustling in, then Lee Martin, and Gray appeals to the referee. He's angry now. In fact, it's all a bit tense, isn't it, Trevor?
Well, he got the free kick. I'm not sure what he was complaining about there.
Ince having to hurdle another tackle. And now McClare. He's into the centre much more than the second half. You know, he's moved in from the right-hand side, Brian McClare, and he's having some good play and some good touches. This is Wallace. Webb. Lee Martin from left-back, an inspired run on the far side. A chance here, and a goal! What a tremendous run! And Manchester United have taken the lead, and Lee Martin made a run from left back that was, 40, 50 yards, took it on his chest and smashed it with his right foot past Nigel Martin, and after an hour's play, Manchester United are in front in the cup final because Andy Gray couldn't get to him, and it's the roof of the net. And Lee Martin, I only ever remember him scoring once before in the first team, Lee Martin. Certainly it wasn't this season, and United have taken the lead after 1 hour's play. But wait a moment, here's Bright. And here's Pardew, and Brian Robson gets knocked over. That's a free kick, and it's a chance to say to Trevor Brooking, what about the goal? It was a man from the back, wasn't it?
Quite right, and really, I would think that 50-yard pass by Neil Webb has probably booked his ticket to the Italy World Cup. It was a magnificent pass. Lee Martin did very well to chest it, kept his head, rifled it into the roof of the net, and possibly, as that ball switched play brilliantly, chested it down. Andy Gray just had allowed him to get the wrong side of him. He's just about to put his hands on his head because he knows he just lost concentration briefly there. There's Brian Robson exercising his shoulder. Let's hope that's not his World Cup one of 3 or 4 years ago. But
I think we ought to have another look at that, Trevor. You know, this could be the Brian Robson shoulder unless he's careful. It was a high challenge, in my view, by Mark Bright, and Brian went down in a real heap, and it looks to me as though Jim McGregor has got him back on his feet. But there was a moment when I think Bobby Robson's heart would have stopped there, when Brian went over, particularly on that shoulder. Corner kick. Thorne and O'Reilly are on the post. Wright is in there, so is Gray. O'Reilly, oh, it didn't run for him. He scrambled against Seeley's legs. And very, very close. The goalkeeper takes credit again. Les Seeley was in the right place. Robson! Oh, against the bar! And nobody able to seize on the rebound for United, but Lee Martin did in the end, and Robson's there again. Well, I don't know what you can say about the England captain that hasn't been said so many times before. So close to making it 2-0. Now Gray is chasing this, so is Bright there. And there's Wright with a chance. Wright, side netting. And it might be fair to say Les Seeley had it covered anyway. But their hearts would have been in their mouths down there. Archie Docks and Alex Ferguson. Brian Kidd makes a point from behind. But look at this here. Ian Wright still a threat. Yes, he had it covered. Alan Gunn checks his watch. Robson for United. And Hughes chasing. And what's going to happen here? Well, he's running to the goalkeeper. We've played a minute of stoppage time already. The referee says to Mark Hughes, calm down. Flag up on the far side. Offside. It isn't the final whistle. It's an offside. Manchester United have won the FA Cup and equalled the record of 7 outright wins. Palace slumped to the ground. Manchester United celebrate Alex Ferguson's first major trophy at Old Trafford, thanks to a goal by a home-produced player who spent £13 million, and the man who got the goal didn't cost a penny. The England captain outstanding, and Manchester United have the time to console unhappy Palace players who've given so much on Saturday, but Steve Coppell's team finally made to look second best as the Manchester United supporters salute a most unlikely man with a Cup Winners' Medal, Les Seeley. Who would have believed this a week ago? He came in place of Jim Leighton and did everything that was asked of him. And an on-loan goalkeeper facing a free transfer has won an FA Cup Winners' Medal. Just look at that man's face. The years seem to have fallen away there from Alex Ferguson after a season of torment and tribulation. He embraces his players because this victory, well, they had to win it in many ways, didn't they, Trevor? And Pallister came through as well with flying colours.
Well, I think the experienced men did him proud this evening. Gary Pallister, I thought, had an excellent game at the back, won a lot of the balls in the air. And to be fair, Crystal Palace did concentrate on hitting the long ball in, and with his height, Gary Pallister did dominate there. But Brian Robson, as I say, Neil Webb will be pleased. But there, Lee Martin, I wouldn't like to know what the odds were on him being the opening goal scorer tonight, but I shouldn't think there's going to be many collecting their winning bets.
And we got a glimpse there of the famous old trophy, didn't we? The road to Wembley is finally over, and Sir Matt Busby sees Manchester United win the FA Cup at Wembley that is, for the 6th time, and that in itself is a record.
Brian Robson becomes the first captain to collect the cup 3 times at Wembley, as United join Aston Villa and Spurs as the top cup winning sides with 7 victories each. For Alex Ferguson, the satisfaction of leading United to glory. Victory for United. Now what lies ahead for the Red Devils?